Well, awesome. We can kick it off. This will be recorded, so no need to write down notes. We'll also have a landing page that will have all this information that you can refer to. So once again, just want to introduce the event. Thank you all for being here. This is the first ever Tech and Real Estate Hackathon for 2024, sponsored by Real Estate API. And really excited to see all the representation that we have of those of you that have already commented in the section. And what we'll be covering today mostly will be Q&A to answer your questions and details about the hackathon. But before we dive into it, I want to give a little bit of an overview of PropTech and why we're doing this hackathon to begin with. So what is PropTech? Put simply, it's the intersection of real estate and technology, and it's actually all around us. So I bet you've been introduced to some of these companies that I'm going to mention, or maybe even a user of them. So some PropTech companies include listing services like Zillow, Realtor, Redfin, making it easier for you to access MLS listings and make purchases. Property management softwares that help you to manage large buildings using softwares like AppFolio and Yardi. Smart home devices, which I'm guilty of having many within my home, including Alexa. And also there's Ring, Simply Safe, that a lot of people use today. And there's softwares that you may be familiar with, like AirDNA, PropStream for market analysis. So what's exciting about all these companies that I mentioned have all started after the dot-com era, so are fairly new in terms of companies and age. And what's even more exciting is that this space is going to continue to grow. As of 2022, the PropTech market was valued at about 27 billion and is expected to be about 5 times that going into 2032. So there's a lot of opportunity to continue building in this space. So what we're looking to do for this hackathon is to build PropTech solutions. We know it's growing around us, but how do we actually build these products? So we're going to build products for PropTech in this hackathon. And you may be new to a hackathon, and that's okay. A hackathon is an event where people come together to collaborate intensely on a specific project over a short period of time. So that means instead of working on a project by yourself for 6 months and then releasing it, hoping someone will use it, it's the opposite of that. We're working in a short span of time with other folks to quickly build and iterate. So we know in real estate, solving technical problems fits into the PropTech space. We can do so by building solutions fast in hackathons. But who is a hackathon actually for? So traditionally, a hackathon was more for software developers, those who are putting the project together, UX designers for the field, and project managers to make sure things get done. And since hackathons have had even more people included, like data scientists, domain experts, and entrepreneurs. And why are all these different individuals needed? So just like if you were building a house, and I had to use a real estate analogy, if you're building a house from the ground up, you need different skill sets to build it. Maybe a roofer, window installer, painter, and handyman. Well, tech is no different. We need a variety of skill sets to complete a project. And the best part about a hackathon is that you get to combine those all in one. So why now? Why are we looking to do a hackathon and who is it for? So real estate fits in a very unique space where domain expertise is everything. Over the last several years, I've listened to experts like investors, agents, wholesalers that discuss problems they are facing that I would have never even thought of. And they each want to solve it with technology, but they either don't have the time or the skill set to do so. Then on the other hand, I frequently come across programmers looking to dive into real estate for financial freedom. They want to work on projects where they could use their skill set, but have no idea what to work on. So we found that it was time to actually connect these two groups together to build some really awesome tools. So this hackathon is for those who are techies, whether you are just getting into programming or maybe you already have a whole career in it, as well as experts in the field. So you can be completely non-technical, but if you are either a starting or experienced agent, investor, or maybe a developer, this hackathon is for you. So what are the actual projects that you would work on in this hackathon? Ultimately, we want to solve real world problems, and there's several ways we could do this. So as an example, using artificial intelligence to predict, say, foreclosures, maybe actually predicting who would go into foreclosure before it actually happens. Automation, maybe simplifying the home buying process, taking this complicated process that can take 60 days only into a couple days. And insights. What if you could build a tool that can identify areas of opportunity for affordable housing? These are all sample projects that could be worked on. So ultimately, what I just walked you through is the what, how, who, and why. The purpose of this hackathon is to solve real-world problems by joining techies and experts together for a one-week hackathon to build cool prop tech solutions. And here we go with the details. So the hackathon is called a Tech and Real Estate Hackathon, and it's an opportunity to build, learn with peers in the real estate community. It will be a remote event, and the date of the hackathon is for the week of April 22nd, with the winner being announced May 2nd. And if you have been a part of hackathons before, you may recognize them to usually be 1 to 2 days. However, the reason why we're doing this event for a full week is that we understand most people participating either have a full-time job or other commitments. So by having it for a week, this will give you the space to really dive into the problem, dig into the data, and even if it's for a few hours a day, you'll be able to still make a great contribution. And if you haven't guessed already, the theme of this hackathon is pretty broad, but it's going to be on relevant topics, which is artificial intelligence, automation, and insights. As long as you combine one of these three, this will be perfect for the hackathon. And who can participate? It can be whether you are an experienced programmer, newbie, or someone who's even just interested in real estate or coming with a domain expertise. It's free to join, and there is not only a cash prize, but a really great opportunity to get a 6-month subscription to Real Estate API, which we'll detail more in a moment. And if I haven't convinced you already on why to join, you will also be able to get throughout this time frame coaching. So maybe in the past you've thought of, when do I use web scraping? Do I need to set up a database? There's a lot of questions that you may have, and you'll have coaches along the way. Myself, Lucas, and Jose. For data sets, you will have free access during the hackathon to really enhance data sets, including property records, comps, demographics, and even owner information. You will also have the ability to present your project over to some top individuals across different companies that will be our panelists. So at this moment, I'll hand it over to Jose to give a little bit more detail about the data you'll be able to access.
Yeah, so as part of the Real Estate API being the sponsor for this hackathon, we're also going to be using Real Estate API as the data set. I actually Lucas may be able to give a little bit better detail on just kind of who we are and what we do. Lucas, you wanna take it away?
Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna just give you guys all the same overview that I give everyone who kind of comes to us and starting to feel out the problems that they have. We are you've probably heard of SaaS. So that's software as a service. This is data warehouse as a service. So this is something that you pull a lot of bulk data really easily through our APIs. So they're really powerful, built on like great, just innovative architecture, thanks to Jose, and allows us to run just huge amounts of data from our over 156 million property warehouse. We have single family residences, we have multi-family residences, we have just land parcels, condo units, we have mobile home coverage, and there's even some coverage on commercial in terms of the like whole building structures for commercial properties, you know, like offices or something like that. I know commercial's been hot recently. We have some stuff that can help you do like searching for corporate and institutional buyers. We have our linked properties feature. That's a great one. I love doing that. I've done some internal research myself on like Open Door, for example, like the company, just kind of seeing like a little bit about like the markets that they're investing in and everything like that. So there are endless possibilities in terms of like the over 200 data points that we return on each property and the unique ways you're able to search for exactly what you want. And each of those different ways represents maybe a different problem that you could solve, because we've already been serving people in different industries. We serve people in insurance. We serve people just in regular transaction businesses, agents, investors alike. There's just so much lending, all the things you can imagine, real estate space. There's a ton of different applications. So I just encourage people, you know, you can look into the documentation, you know, leading up to the event. Please don't get a key from us secretly and start building. But if you want to look into the documentation, ask us questions, our contact information should be posted. I guess somewhere, you know, leading up to the event, I guess just ask beginner questions, maybe start fleshing people's ideas a little bit out, but no starting. But definitely want to encourage everyone to just get creative. There's a lot of different things that I've seen just product wise, early, mid, late in the game. Like if you already have an operation, but you want to build an automation for it, like, and just make it more efficient, more profitable, like that's a great use case. It doesn't have to be like reinventing the wheel or doing something like, you know, super crazy or hard that you may not be able to achieve in a week. So there's a lot of things that I think we can all do together, and we're here to support you all throughout the way.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the really cool thing about Real Estate API is, you know, we built this product, you know, with developers in mind. And so, you know, it really abstracts away the need for you to build your own databases, your own you know, data management solutions, where the Real Estate API service, I mean, you really do have access, you know, it's kind of like a data warehouse as a service, right? Where you do have access to pretty much every parcel in the United States. And, you know, with near real-time responses, if you're trying to build like mapping applications or any really any UI that requires that kind of response time. So yeah, we're excited to, you know, to build on Real Estate API on this hackathon, and yeah, thanks Lucas for the explanation.
So
Awesome. Yeah, lots of different projects that can be completed off of this data set. So super excited about it. And in terms of team, you may be thinking, well, what if I'm coming in solo? Can I still be a part of the hackathon? Of course. So you can come solo or as a group. If you are joining solo, we will pair you based on skill set and interest into a group. And we will also consider time zone as well, so that it'd be easy to meet up with teammates. And you can either come with an idea or without one. So maybe you have a skill set, you want to join, be a part of something, that's great. Or maybe you're a domain expertise and you have a particular project that you want to try to solve. This is the chance to build a team around you to be able to complete this. So when it comes to the details of the timeline for this hackathon, again, this will be on its own standalone landing page, so no need to copy anything down. It'll be sent in an email after this. So this is actually the first event of a series of events to happen. So thank you so much for joining today. And today will be the first day as well for sign up. So it will be a Google form, which I'll share in a moment, where you'll be able to sign up. Then the last day of registration will close at the end of March. In between then, we will have another call similar to this, but it'll be more so Q&A and also the opportunity to network with others within breakout rooms. Then starting the first week of April, once we have those ideas, everyone's submission and skill set, we'll then form teams. These teams will be meeting, expected to meet at least once in that first 2 weeks of April. Then April 18th is when we'll have the hackathon preview. So it'll basically be a light prep, letting you know what's to expect for that following week, and also what is an idea of the sample data sets you'd be working with. April 22nd will be the hackathon kickoff. We will have a webinar optional to join, but this will basically be your time to have access to the data sets for 1 full week. And again, we're doing 1 full week so that if you have other commitments, maybe a full-time job or other things, you could still work on this project in the evening. Through this time, we'll have office hours. So if you have questions about your implementations or the data, you'll be able to reach out to any of us. And the submission will be April 29th. After that, we'll review the top 3, which will be presenting May 2nd for the ultimate winner. And the way to register is a very simple Google form. Again, the event is free. There's a couple of questions there: time zone to help pair different groups, expertise, whether you're technical, non-technical, or in a particular domain expertise role. And if you have an idea, this will be where to submit it. If you want to submit your idea later, but want to make sure you register now, that's okay. You could always email me with your idea, even if it changes throughout the time of March. So overall, just super excited to see what everyone is able to come up with in this hackathon. And at this time, I'll stop sharing, and yeah, we're welcome to answer any questions you guys may have.
Hey, Ariel, I have a question. This is Leonardo.
Hey.
How you doing? So, how will the projects be evaluated near the end? Is there like a rubric that you guys have that we'll have access to, or what's the guidance there?
Yeah, so we will have the rubric with the landing page that has all this information I walked through, likely if not tomorrow, by Monday. And some things in the rubric would include like how close you are to the theme. So if you're using AI, automation, or insights, as well as how you're using the API. So Jose, not sure if you had any ideas yet for the rubric portion of the API, if you could share that.
Yeah, we'll have more information on the landing page, as far as API usage, but we are looking for you guys to really take advantage of the API features. So we'll have some documentation, and the documentation for the API is available already at developer.realestateapi.com. But yeah, I mean, we really want to encourage you to use as much of the API as possible in your projects.
Yeah,
Thank
sure. One thing to add to that, when it comes to delivering your actual work, we're not expecting like a full-blown presentation or this like beautiful web app at all. Even if it's a Jupyter notebook with some of your insights, that would be satisfactory as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're really looking for, your concept, right? Just ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Haya. I have a question. So what happens to the ideas after the hackathon is done? Like, is there additional support to develop them? If there's some like runner-up ideas that are great, that are not necessarily the winners, what happens afterwards? And also like ownership of the ideas, how does that all work?
Yeah, so great question. Ownership will be with those in the team. So me, myself, Jose, Lucas will not have any ownership of the projects. For those that aren't winners, still encourage you to continue on your project if you like, and we would be more than happy to provide ongoing support, even if it's, doing office hours here and there through email. If you're thinking of like, hey, I love this project that I did, I want to get it into a web app and maybe sell it to other people, we can direct you to the right individuals to do so.
Awesome. Thank you. And I'm just so excited about this hackathon. Thank you guys for putting it together. And I'm really excited about, what you've worked on, Ariel.
Thank you.
I'm looking at the website right now, the real estate API. How do you subscribe or anything? It doesn't really show that.
Yeah, we just get people to come talk to us to talk through their use case first, and then we can point you. So since there's so much in the docs to kind of sort through, it's just easy for us to guide you exactly where you kind of need to go first. So just book a time with us. Our calendars are always available on the homepage, the regular websites like www.realestateapi.com. There's a button where you can like book a call with us any day.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Actually, we have a very important question. Will digital refreshments be provided within the metaverse? Unfortunately, not this time around, but we do encourage beverages to be had. So if you want to grab your favorite beer as you're programming, it's highly encouraged.
One note on that, if anyone's ever heard of Ballmer peaking, it's when Steve Ballmer, the former Microsoft CEO, used to get a few in, and that's when he said his productivity / creativity peak was. If you Google it, there's like a graph, it falls off sharply, as you can imagine, with a few.
Oh, I bet.
You gotta stay in the right zone,
Yeah, exactly. I don't encourage it. We're not encouraging that. But
I'm sure Jose loves hearing that. You do that.
yeah.
I have a question.
Yep.
Can we start to play with the API now?
So I think
Yeah.
we're gonna give access to everybody on the kickoff date, right?
Okay. So we cannot do earlier than that, right?
No, you can go over the docs. You can look over our website, and on the landing page, I think we're gonna provide some request examples, some response examples, and I mean the documentation has that anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll be providing some details on what you'll have access to. But yeah, official access to the API will be on kickoff.
Okay, thank you.
I love the enthusiasm to start early, though.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're tracking IPs, we'll know.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Everyone's so shy. There's so many people, and only like how many people have asked questions so far? 4?
It's because they're all waiting for you to start freestyling.
Oh gosh.
Lucas, I know I've spoken to a couple of folks that were interested in the hackathon that were on the wholesaler side as well. Some interest was how to find like distressed properties using your APIs. So you maybe want to detail maybe some endpoints that you have or interesting parameters, that would be cool.
Yeah, for sure. So just a few to get started. There's, of course, your foreclosures are a classic one. So there's a property search filter, like on the input, where you can kind of go over any geo you want. You can do like search radius, search polygons, different types of like geo settings. Then just search for pre-foreclosures or like wherever you want there. And they have auctions, those are available as well. You'll have like a death flag, which could be treated as somewhat of a probate sort of signal. You just have to take note of the document dates on those transfers, deed transfers related to those. What other ones off the top of my head? There's at least a handful more. I'd have to like go look it up though.
Yeah, I think what's also very powerful is from my experience of utilizing the API is stacking all these things together. So it's not just like a one-off. You're able to really produce these like interesting lists if you'd like as well.
One,
Yeah.
I guess like a couple more. You can kind of calculate like negative equity in certain situations, like where the open mortgage balance is not getting paid down. So that's something you'll be able to tell. Yeah, there's other ones. I can maybe that'd be like a good, little document for me to get together just to share with everyone, since that's a classic one. We can include that with our, SDK and other code resources that we're putting together for people, make it more a little like broader towards like the non-technical participants.
Hey, question. One of the things I have yet to check out the website for Real Estate API, but I'm wondering, one of the things that I would like to do is sort of like there are some ideal cities that I've worked in. So I'm in the wholesaling space, and I want to try to find using data cities that have the same criteria around the country. Is that something that your API does or can do?
Yeah, definitely. I think you could really leverage the property search API to accomplish something like that.
Mm,
So you would essentially search for the same criteria that you're searching on your current geo and other
mhm,
geos, and see, compare the results, do some analysis on the result sets that you get from each geo.
mhm. Got it. Now I'm not a technical person, but I'm wondering, I've kind of been dabbling around with the datausa.io site. Would we be able to, I don't, I'm not a technical person, so forgive me if this makes no sense at all, but would I be able to use stuff from, that you guys collect and pair it with data that comes from other sites? So I'm looking at things like demographic information, um, or does Real Estate API also offer that?
So we've got some basic demographic data, it's something that we're expanding on in the API, but right now we've got so like median incomes and
Fair
like
market.
suggesting rent prices, yeah, fair market prices by zip code. But yeah, I mean, you can certainly tie that up to demographic information or deeper demographic information by either zip code or property address. There's a lot of, if you really want to get super granular, the API will return like census tract and block, and so you could really get down to street level as far as like how you want to tie up things to other data sets.
That's awesome. I'm a bit of a data nerd, so I'm really excited about digging into Real Estate API.
Awesome.
And I think that's going to be the beautiful thing about all this. I think, pairing people like Ariel had mentioned earlier, the technical and non-technical bridging, I think that's going to lead us to a lot of interesting apps, a lot of interesting conclusions, a lot of interesting projects in general. I think that's going to, without having these different things siloed, these different strengths siloed, I think we're going to see a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Can you maybe like give us some a little bit more information on where do you guys get this data from? How do you get it? Things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the base is like the county files. So there is, every county keeps track of everything, and so there is stuff about the property structure of the lot, the legal description of the property, all that comes directly to the county assessor, the tax recorder, or if it's the mortgages that you're looking at or the loans that you're looking at, that comes from like the mortgage loan file. There's a lot of different work that we do on top of that to tie in other insights, such as the demographics, as they mentioned, FEMA flood zone insights, and other things that we merge on top of it. So that's basically the crux. So it's like, if you're looking at a property, though, it's going to be, the county data primarily. And then you'll have like on market and off market ability to like discern that too via county listing data.
Now, one thing I've always been interested in, not sure if this is available, but like when I purchase a home, for example, there's always like the appraiser would set a quality score. I guess like it was like I forgot, it was like a letter and then a number that kind of tells you the condition of the property. Um, is that something that's available? I mean, when looking at valuation models, I think that would be an important factor, right? The quality or the condition of the home, right? The interior condition, not the exterior condition. Is that something that your API will provides or part of the property detail API?
The gear built would probably be the thing you mostly want to look at there. And then we have like the comps API that can deliver its own AVMs too out of the box. So you can also like tweak from there based on other considerations. If you wanted like interior, I guess like that's not a direct answer to your question because it's not like the condition of the inside, that would probably mostly come from like an agent description or the like MLS photos, and those are not in the purview of the hackathon, like data that's available.
Right. Or sometimes like the appraiser that does it on sold homes, right? Like they would always have this. Like I bought a property down in Vermont. It had like I guess a condition number, like a condition kind of. I think I forgot the exact wording, but it was like a C4, for example, or C like a condition number, and then that kind of tells you if it's an excellent condition, average, or poor. And I guess why that I would think is important if let's say you're looking at properties that you want to flip, and then you can see if a property moves from one condition to another, how much is that of a difference, or what's the delta from a regression perspective? And then you can see an opportunity. Let's say there's $100,000 difference, and then you can say, okay, well, there's an opportunity for me to come in that specific property if I upgraded it. That's how I'm thinking, but I don't think from your answer that the API would provide this data.
It would be a great data point. We can definitely look into it. But that wouldn't be like a short-term thing that yes, but it definitely is something interesting. Thanks for bringing it up though.
Thank you.
All great questions. Keep them coming, guys.
I mean, also, if you guys want some more ideas, I can give you guys more ideas for future product features.
Of course, we're always taking like customer suggestions. I think that's one of the things that sets us apart a lot from maybe like a couple of the other data vendors out there. Is that we are listening to our customers and helping them solve the problems as we can, whether that means like it's something with the data what we already have we can expose or make available, or permit data, for example, is one we're bringing on in the next couple of months. So that's one that we've heard a lot, and we've made a lot of efforts and strides to get that into the warehouse. So that's coming. So we're always ears up, for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So go ahead, Jose.
One of our biggest goals, as an API provider, as a data provider, is to allow you to truly focus on the product that you're trying to develop, and not really use your brain on the data side. So to Lucas's point of like listening to our customers, that's always the goal, to make your life easier as a developer, or product owner.
All right, with that, I'll give you some more ideas. I mean, another thing I was thinking about, so there's the property description, right? Instead of having to extract that from your API and wrangle it myself, you could potentially bring in with your API kind of your own like a feature extraction from the text, right? That kind of comes with the data, like metadata that comes with it, like that comes automatically with the API for each property. That would obviously require a lot of data wrangling from your side, but kind of taking that off my shoulders, and so that when I request a property detail, it would come with a description and also kind of like feature extractions, like whatever the features that could be in the like if the house has an open kitchen, for example, that you can extract that from the wording. Yeah,
it's possible. If I don't want to get too much in the weeds on like the other MLS offering that we have that's not part of the hackathon, but like it's possible we're already doing that. Just take it's a different level of access is required.
Oh, okay. You could do that on images too, right? Like, but that's like super like advanced, I guess. Like,
It's just a different process, I guess. It's
Yeah.
you guys know how the MLSs are. They're political, to say the least, but for good reason. I suppose.
Inexpensive. That data set is just, it's kind of pricey.
Also just wanted to add, as you're like thinking of ideas and looking to explore like what's readily available to help you kind of like jumpstart, Hugging Face is really great to check out. Open source community with models, LLMs as well, image classification. So being able to put an image into it, say if it's like a kitchen, it'll classify it for you, depending on which model you select. But definitely interesting to check out, and it's free.
Yeah, that would be the best approach, I think, given the scope of this hackathon, just like innovating with other like AI or open source solutions that are out there to accomplish some of these things, automate.
Yeah, remember that your submission, it can be conceptual. You don't have to build out a full product in a week. Yeah.
So you're saying a lot of it will just be like code and what the data or whatever you're trying to grab, not like pricing, data plan, or like a business plan type stuff, just for everyone to
If it was good,
know.
it could still qualify. I mean, execution, whatever the execution's towards.
Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, we do want some execution. We're just not expecting like, and this is in the App Store, in a week. Yeah.
I think something like Streamlit or whatever could potentially get the job done.
Definitely. I'm a big proponent of Streamlit. I'm just gonna share a link here in case anyone wants to see it.
Streamlit is making things. I think the easiest way to actually get it into production is to use their cloud service. So I don't know how that works with trying to make like something proprietary or so do you guys have any experience of anyone doing anything with no code, like Bubble or anything like that?
Yeah. There's API connectors for Wix, Bubble, Salesforce, Go High Level, all of it. There's like a way we would do that during coaching. Like if that was like what you're trying to set up, we could show you the like code parts that are necessary to get the data flowing through there. We actually have a Zapier integration coming out here soon too, so that may help like towards that end as well.
Okay.
And there's also a hack to Streamlit. If you make your repo open and then you set it up and then you immediately make it private again, then no one else could see the code behind it.
Thanks for the hack.
Nice.
Just a few clicks of a button.
Very cool.
But my understanding is that you guys, the outcome can be just like a proof of concept. Doesn't have to be something fancy that's done in a Bubble or a no code kind of front end, right?
Yeah, it could be. It's creativity unbounded, I suppose. Because I can imagine like, if it's like 60% of it or 70% of it's great because of the UI, that probably means less than if it fits the theme 75%, would you say, guys? It's like Ariel and Jose, based on like just the rubric that would be in place.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like concept, it does have to be executable, right? So like if your submission is conceptual in nature, I would just make sure that it's not just kind of blue sky thinking. Make sure that it is executable within the API parameters.
Yeah, so said another way, if it's like just a written out Word doc, probably not the right submission, but if it's at minimum like a Jupyter notebook, one of us could run it, for example, and then be able to see the model at the end, like that would still be acceptable.
Right.
I'll still read the Word doc.
Definitely, yeah. If you want to submit a Word doc, yeah, we'll read it.
Ooh.
I just learned something with this Streamlit thing. Gosh, learned something.
Yes, okay. I had never heard of it.
It's a data scientist's best friend.
And you've never watched Ariel.
Yeah.
Like if you know how to write code in Python, you can get up and running in Streamlit in a day.
That's the kind of thing I love. We're the same way. You can get a lot of stuff working like in half a day.
Mhm.
Like all the endpoint, you could set up a class, like a JavaScript class for all of our functions, APIs, and just the basic, like get a 200 response or whatever. Then you might go from there and customize it to what you need.
Yeah, I was researching how to get Streamlib app into production, and I was like, I went down a YouTube rabbit hole, and I found Snowflake, and I don't know if you know Ariel. They use you, they use something that you built as
Yeah.
their like, like in their. I still didn't fully understand how to get it into production, but yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting.
Snowflake bought Streamlit like 2 years ago or so. And then at Folio, we were part of the private preview. So we were building apps within their platform. And yeah, they did a pretty great job at integration. There were a few things that we were unable to do on their platform, like upload CSV files and such. They may have already solved that now. But yeah, I can't say anything bad about Streamlit. It's a great tool.
Maybe we should just make a list of cool AI tools people could use too, aside from like Hugging Face and stuff. Like maybe we should.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a note. Yeah, so with that, I think we're super excited for this event. Really appreciated everyone who's come out tonight. We'll continue to be here to answer questions, help brainstorm your ideas, and I will share the link to sign up. I encourage you to sign up as soon as possible, even if you don't have your idea out yet. You could always let me know later, but this will help us to know like if we have more programmers or more experts, how to market this going forward to make sure we have kind of an even balance. And yeah, so just really, really excited that we're finally making this happen.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
everybody for coming along, and we're excited to to see where you how you use the APIs and what you build with them.